Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been loving the videos that I'm putting out. I thought today I would take you through my pretty much ultimate favorite snack. Actually, I feel like I say everything's my favorite, but this one is pretty good. It is vegan, it is raw, and it doesn't take very long to make at all. It's super tasty as well. So we're gonna get into it. Basically, it is a raw salted caramel slice made with my favorite protein from Body Science and some pretty available ingredients that you should have in your cupboard already. What we are going to do first is make the base. So for the base of this, what you are going to need is your oats. I have pre-weighed all of this, which you will have seen already. And you're gonna go straight into a blender. You can use like a blender, a NutriBullet, anything that's gonna blend this well. Next, you're going to go in with your almonds. You can use almond meal if you want. However, I have these handy in the cupboard. Once you've got all your dry ingredients into the NutriBullet, screw the lid on and you can just blend it straight away. So we have blended all this in the NutriBullet. Now you can put that aside. You're going to tip the raw mix into a bowl. Make sure you scoop it all out. Once it's in the bowl, you can pop your coconut oil into the microwave. That will take about 30 seconds to melt. In the meantime, I have pre-weighed the maple syrup. With this maple syrup, you're going to be using some for the caramel center as well. So all you need to do is just measure out 1/4 of a cup into the bowl. The next thing you are going to do is put in a crack of salt and then take out the coconut oil from the microwave. So now the coconut oil is melted, you can just go straight into the bowl. And then also 1/4 of a cup of water. All you're gonna do is give this a really good mix and bring it together. Once it's all together, you should have space ready in the fridge, so you can just pop it straight in. But before you do that, you need to line it in the tin. So you're going to grab a spray oil, just lightly spray the edges. This helps it stick and keeps the base super even and flat. Grab your baking paper. And then just evenly press it down into the edges. This is how you make your, all your slices super perfect. So once you have your baking tin lined, your mix is ready to go. All you need to do is scrape the mix into the center. Now that it's in there, all you can begin to do is just evenly disperse the mix all out. In the meantime, keep washing your spoon as you go. The reason you need to wash your spoon is so you can evenly spread it out. All you want to do is slowly and carefully press the mix down into the edges. So the more you press it down, the firmer it's going to be and the neater your caramel slice is going to turn out. So just really push it down. If you want, you can grab your hand and you can lightly press it as well. That helps. Once it's smooth, straight into the freezer. And you're just gonna let it chill in there for 5 minutes while you get the rest of the mix made. So now that your base is in the fridge setting, this gives you time to make the caramel slice. It's super important that the bottom of the slice sets, or at least freezes halfway. Otherwise, when you begin to push this caramel, you'll see that it will sort of disperse the base and it won't be an even flat layer. The first thing you are going to use is the tahini. So just into the bowl. It'd be good if your tahini is at room temperature. You don't want to use it when it's in the fridge or something like that, as you won't be able to like make the mix nice and smooth. Next, you are going to add in your peanut butter. This is just a peanut butter with the skins on, if that makes sense. That doesn't really make sense to anyone, but it is like a more natural peanut butter and it's smooth. So you're going to add that to the bowl as well. Next, you're going to go in with your protein powder. This is a salted caramel protein powder. If you don't have salted caramel, you can use pretty much any protein you want, but this is the best. It's my favorite one from Body Science. So in you go with that. And then lastly, it's just like the second last is the maple syrup. This is a sugar-free maple syrup. I mean, this recipe isn't super calorie friendly, but you can make it a little bit more calorie friendly. And then lastly, again, a few more cracks of salt. This is like my favorite part to it. Adding the salt is so delicious. And then all you're gonna do is begin to mix this together. So the base is setting, you're mixing this. Once this is all ready to go, all you're gonna do is press it in, which I will show you. So your base has been sitting in the fridge for 10 minutes now. You'll see that it's actually started to set. It doesn't have to be completely set, like I said. You are going to grab your caramel mix. Use your hands if you want. It's a lot easier, I think. And then you're just gonna put it into the tin. Once it's all in there, the heat of your hands is going to help disperse this. So you just wanna begin to press it out. Once you've evenly begun to press it out, you're just gonna grab your spoon again. My tip for this is make sure the back of your spoon is hot. If it's hot, you can spread it a lot easier, but then dry it as well. Again, you're going to do the same technique that I showed you before. Press the mix into the edges. The reason you're doing this is so when you do cut the slice, you'll see like 3 even layers, and they won't cross over into each other. They will be super neat. So just keep pressing this until it's all completely set. And then you're just gonna put it straight back into the freezer. So now this is done like this, straight into the freezer. At least 15 minutes it needs to set. So now the base is back into the freezer, you're just gonna melt your chocolate. So it doesn't matter what chocolate you use. I like to use this one. Just straight into the bowl. In with the chocolate, you've got to add coconut oil. The reason you add coconut oil is because it just helps to make it more ganache-like. When you do need to cut it, when you have finished making the slice, you're going to be able to break through it a lot easier, and it's not going to ruin like the portion of the slice. Then chocolate and coconut. You're just going to put this into the microwave now for 30-second bursts. It will melt quite easily itself, and you just stir it in. Make sure you don't get it too hot, otherwise it will begin to split. It should take about roughly 1 minute. So the chocolate's melted. As you can see, it is a really runny consistency. All you're gonna do now is grab your tray and evenly spread it down the middle. Scrape anything pressure out. And then just begin to move it around. All you're gonna do is create like an even layer of chocolate. It's super thin, but it just adds that deliciousness to the caramel tart. As you can see, it will evenly spread around. You're gonna pop it in the fridge now. This is gonna need to sit in the fridge for at least 2 hours. If you have a freezer, you can do that, but I honestly suggest that the fridge is the best option. Once you've been in the fridge for 2 hours, you can then slice it. Then you can, slice it into as many portions as you want. So I will show you that. We have had this in the fridge for 2 hours now. As you can see, we have 3 pretty even layers. Like, we did our absolute best to get that pressed down nice and evenly. And now the next thing you do is portion it. When you are portioning this, if you're pre-calculating your macros, what you're gonna do is you're gonna weigh the whole bar, and you can work out exactly how many bars you need by dividing the weight of the total bar by, say, maybe 14 individual slices. That's how then you can calculate your macros for this. However, I am not calculating my macros for this. I'm just going to enjoy it, and I am going to slice it. So what you need is a knife. Get a knife that doesn't have any like edges, or it's like a smooth sort of knife, no serrated knives, because it's going to be able to cut evenly. And you're going to run your knife under hot water, or even have the kettle boiled, because this is going to be easier to slice it. First of all, you are going to trim the edges. This just makes it a lot more even. Hold the knife down so it begins to cut through. And then just keep wiping your knife as you go, so you keep the edges nice and clean. Don't press too hard. Let the residual heat from the knife easily cut through your bar. So now we have cut the slice one way. We're just going to cut it vertically now. This is up to you again, what sizes you want to have them. All you need to do is, again, slowly hold the knife into it and begin to cut. Just be very careful not to crack the chocolate. Always continually wipe your knife as you go, and then that way you can cut it. You can make as many portions as you want, or as big as you want. And then here you have your caramel slice. This is perfect for a snack. Super easy, super fast, delicious, and it freezes really well. The best part about this slice is if you don't want to eat all of this, you can just put it in the freezer and it will last a good 2 months, as long as it's in an airtight container. And there you have it, my beautiful caramel slice.